Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of Printin' Pretzels Live. We're here with our new AMS heaters from Sunlu. We got two of them unboxed already. We did the filming for that already in preparation for that episode to come out. Whoa, we got our ice water that's super carbonated right now. We're gonna do that unboxing tonight. We're gonna talk about what prints we're gonna do in preparation for our Chroma Kit. Hopefully I'm pretty sure that's on its way some point, but we're gonna give a few minutes for everyone to get back into this live stream here from last week. We had some issues on the Phrozen Arco a little bit earlier today. It was kind of interesting that I was surprised to see happen. We'll show you that in a little bit. I'm not sure why that happened, but we'll give everyone a few minutes. We got some new Pop Daddy pretzels. These weird flavors, I tell you. Today's flavor of the choice is, well, not by choice, I'll explain that in a second. Strawberry shortcake. So my fiance Abby ordered some pretzels from Walmart, and I don't remember what flavor she got, but we did not get the flavor that we were supposed to get. We got this substituted. So we'll try this out. So we're going to go into those tonight. We're going to go into we'll actually do it live on the live stream here. We're going to unbox the AMS heater from Sunlu and get it put onto the original AMS from Bambu. We'll talk a little bit about the difference between the Bambu spools, and we'll also talk about the difference of the new Sunlu 3.0 spools, which I'm super happy they went to because it makes my life a whole lot easier when it comes to buying new filament. So I hope everyone's been doing great. So let's see if we can have any friends and family in the chat here. Hope everyone's doing great. We got some new prints in the background here. Dante's sleeping up on the, the printer top like he likes to. We're prepping for our next art fair event coming up in November. So we're getting some Greenfinity bins, and we're also doing that for a Scatus episode that we're going to be filming here pretty shortly. I've already started filming the content for that episode out in the garage, while also doing some remodel out there so that we can get some of that stuff laid out there. So we're doing pretty good. So super excited for that. If you haven't already, smash that like button, hit that hype icon that just popped up on YouTube, get that sweet algorithm going. So today, I was trying to print a articulated dragon from Cinderwing 3D on the Phrozen Arco in PETG, and I'm not sure why, but it looked like we had some buildup here on the Phrozen Arco on the nozzle, and it looked like it just melted around the the nozzle. I'm not sure why, but it caused the printer error. David Walton, welcome to the chat. Yeah, I got two of them going right now. They are awesome. It's going to make a world of difference when it comes to drying out the filament. So I'll go over some of the questions and answers that you guys have for that. Drop those in the comments when we go through that section. Super excited about that. But we're also back to what I was talking about here. I don't know why this happened on the Arco's nozzle, but some PETG did congeal around it. So I'm going to switch it over to Eloise PETG, Rapid PETG, and we're going to do our first print in preparation for the Chroma Kit. So I'm going to go over to our screen share here, and let's see here, screen share, screen chat capture. We're going to turn that on, and then we're going to go to, hey guys, you can see me. We're going to go here, and we're going to go to the Phrozen website, and I want to find where those files are. I saw them on a YouTube video earlier from somebody else. I don't remember who the channel was, but I want to. I'm thinking it's under test model files. Maybe not. 3D printers. We'll go that way. Arco FDM, and then I want to go. Let's see here. Parts, accessories, documents, user manual, helping. Where did it go? So what we're trying to do is we're going to print our first. I'll go to the US store. We're going to print our first Chroma Kit file. See if anybody dropped anything in the chat. Nope. We're going to get those printed off here and in preparation of our Chroma Kit on the way here. Hopefully it's on the way here. I would imagine so. We got the Pentashield pretty quickly. Accessories. Nope. Let's just Google it. Phrozen Arco Chroma Kit files to print. There we go. Okay, so there's that. Okay, this is the Chroma Kit. We're super excited about that. I noticed the support bracket, you need that for if you don't have the Pentashield. We do. So, oh, this was the video I was talking about. I saw this video pop up on my feed earlier in YouTube. So, I want to print this. The spool cover. Download all model files. We want this one. Add to cart. Sure, we'll do the Google. We'll do the Glorious Geeks. And there you go. Didn't know we had to sign in, but okay. So STL from the designer. We're going to add to the cart. We're going to go to our cart. We're going to check out, I guess. Download our model now. So we're going to download it. Check to see if we have any comments. There is the benchy, conveyor, and chroma spool piece. Yep. So David, we're going to do the chroma spool piece tonight. I want to see what the preloaded file looks like. I thought I did. Yeah, okay, I did. I want to see what the preloaded file looks like and see what filament they recommend us to print it with. I want to extract all. We're going to go to just the straight downloads because I don't need to have anything special. Hopefully this is a one-time print. I don't know where it went to. Did it go up here? Okay, you guys can see what I'm working on in the background. We'll try that again. We're going to extract all, browse, and we're going to go to downloads, select folder. Must be it right there. Yep, right here. And then 3D file. I don't know if it says PLA G code. I'm going to open this STL. Open with Orca Slicer. Check to see if anybody says anything. I think they said the G code was for PLA, but of course they say don't use PLA if you use the heater for the other filament. Yeah, I'm not sure why they would Frozen. I would recommend you change that because I would think that people are gonna customers would print with other filament other than PLA, and if you heat with that, they might have some unhappy campers. So I'm gonna use PETG just to start out with because I really like print with PLA and PETG, and I shouldn't have any other issues. So that's what it's going to look like. So how's this thing going to print? Okay, Orca Slicer's open. Whoa. How? Okay. So I won't open that file because that's, wait, yeah, that's too big for the, No. That particular orientation of the file is too big for the printer. So let's open up the PLA.G code. C with, open with Orca Slicer just once. I'm not sure. Oops. White screen of death here. I'm not sure why. So they've oriented it that way. Let me hit this button so you guys can see the full thing. So it looks like they orient it with that. They put their supports in here. I gotta orient it that way. Okay, so we can go here, open project. We're gonna go to downloads. Oh, because it's not a project, it's an STL. Import. Oh, this will be nice. I'll have the two files right next to each other so I can make it match. So I'm excited. Well, maybe not. So they had it on its side. So we're going to change that. And we're going to go to, looks like the Z-axis is what we have to adjust. We're going to go to this little icon right here. That's the rotation icon. We're going to 90 degrees this. No, maybe not that one. Looks like it's the red axis. So we're going to undo that. One of these is going to flip it the way we want to. I don't think it was the x-axis. Let's try the y. Yeah. Okay, and then we're going to rotate it so we can fit it. Looks like diagonally is how they had it. And then they said they had supports. Where'd my menu go? There we go, that's what I wanted. I guess I have to open up the file again. And then it was the y-axis, and we turned it. Then we got to turn it so it's this way. And then we got to slide this over so you guys can see what I'm doing. Let me check the comments real quick. David says, if you're sharing, we don't see your screen. Thank you for that. I appreciate that. I thought I shared my screen. Let's see here. Turn that off. All right, now there we go. Thanks, David. Appreciate that. Okay, so let me go back. So this is how the file loads in, right here. As you can see, it's too high for the Phrozen Arco to print its own item on, which is interesting. So we have to adjust the y-axis or axis and put it to 90 degrees. And then we're going to change it so that it's diagonal on the build plate, because that's what Phrozen had. There's the PLA version, which I would never, in a heater, it's just a bad idea. And then we're going to go to the model again, and they had supports on it, so I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to enable supports. It's under the supports tab. Let's see if you guys, hopefully you guys can see my screen. Okay, I can see it on the live stream preview. I got to go back to this. Where we go here. Orca Slicer. Too many windows open. So I'm going to do tree strong, threshold angle 30, but I'm going to change the top Z distance because with pet G, it's not very nice. I'm going to change it to 0.24. And I'm going to use a standard Sunlu pet G. Even though it's Elegoo, I've used the profile with Sunlu, and it prints just fine. I've had no issues with it, and I've printed it on this printer with it, no problem. So we're going to slice that and see how much filament it takes. Not much actually. I'm surprised. 149 grams total with the supports. I'm actually going to remove the brims because I have not had any issue adhering to the bed. Now that I say that, watch it fail. We're going to put no brim, so that is under the others tab, and then there's the brim section, and I put no brim. I have printed a couple of things with brims on this machine, and I've had a heck of a time trying to get that brim to come off of the build plate. Okay, so we got it there. I know it says white PETG, but I'm printing it in black. Spool cover.g code. This will also give me a chance to examine on. So at the beginning of the live stream, I was talking about what issue I had earlier today with a different type of PETG that I was trying out off-brand. I think it's called. I actually have it right here. I got it off Amazon. It's kind of cool looking. It's gradient. Doesn't really tell me the brand, but it's gradient blue purple. But it, for whatever reason, built up around the hot end, the nozzle, and caused an error, and it caused it to shift. So I fixed it, recalibrated the machine, and this will be the first print that I've had on that. So there's the Orca slicer there, guys, for you, seeing that it's going. We got our electricity ramping up. And then we'll go back to our Streamlabs here, and I'll switch off the screen capture so you don't see the infinite screen of death. So, and then I'll turn on the Frozen Cam. I'm going to make the Frozen Cam a little slightly smaller to... What happened to my Frozen Cam? That's weird. Is it only showing half the screen? That's weird. Huh. That's strange. It's like it's off balance. There we go. Thought I had this adjusted right before we got on the live stream. There we go. Now it's in the center. You'll see it when it moves back into the picture. I make it any bigger. Let's see if it gives you... No, it doesn't give you any more footage. So you can see in there where there's like some adhesive stuff on the build plate in there. That little fuzzy thing over there is some of the PETG that was on there before. Let me grab that out of there. Nope, it stayed there. But so I want to see if it was just this off weird brand of filament that caused this issue, or if it's going to be, for whatever reason, an ongoing issue. So while that's doing its thing, we're going to get on over to our new flavor of pretzels, strawberry shortcake. Let's try it out. They're definitely pink. Uh-huh. Those are surprisingly good. I had some doubts. They're just like the birthday cake one, though. Super powdery. Really good, though. Let me put those to the side. I can eat a whole bag of those. Oh my gosh. So I got my handy dandy little basket here. As you can see, there's some parts in it from when I did the two other ones. But the reason why I got this heater system from Sunlu, I've been using their material for a while. I've seen good reviews about their filament dryer, so I was pretty non-skeptic about their foray into the heater system of Bambu. And with some of the other things that are upgrades from Bambu from third-party companies, Bambu has a tendency, and it's up for debate whether it's they're right or as consumers we should be open source. I mean, that's a whole big debate for another video. But with some of the third-party companies, they have a tendency to, once the third-party company gets an item out, like in the Alfie that we just did, the Pananomi, they kind of lock you out of that. I mean, there's a way to use it, but it's not fun anymore. So one of the things I was a little worried about is, okay, does this have to interface with this machine at all? No, it doesn't. So it has its own power supply, does not connect to the base at all, and it just cycles the air. It's vented at the top, and you'll get to see that when we do our stuff here. So without further ado, let's get into this. I gotta have another one of these. These are good. These are downright good. Highly recommend these. Best pretzels that we've had yet. So, with the old lid, as you can see, we've had this one for a while. It's pretty beat up. You don't really get anything with it. It's just a lid and it closes. Now, I will say, if you get this, don't expect to be able to use your locking tabs anymore, because the new lid is going to go past those. So you won't have access to these, so you won't be able to lock the lid anymore, but it still seals. So it's no big deal to me. We're going to take out our rolls of filament here. And I know I titled the episode Filament Wars. That's because I kind of see Bambu and Sunlu kind of going at each other now that they got these same spools out. I'm really digging that I can swap the filament with either system. So I use Sunlu a lot, and I only buy Bambu when it's on sale because it's affordable for me. So without further ado, let's get this opened. So we're going to open, and fair warning, you're going to see boxes and material fly. So I hope everyone's doing all right tonight. If you're just now joining us on the live stream, we are printing on Wednesday nights here with the Phrozen Arco. We're doing our first print for the Chroma Kit that's going to be coming. We're excited about that. I don't know when it's going to come. Just like with everything else, I'm sure it's just going to be a notification I get the day prior from FedEx to be home to sign for a package. All right, so something neat about this foam that I found, it's jigsawed like a puzzle. I have not seen any other packaging foam like that. It's usually form-fitted, but this is, I mean, it's almost like you could take it apart and play with it as a puzzle. So, but it's very well packaged. We got 3 of these, and there was no issues whatsoever in shipping. It's got well foam, padded foam here in the bottom, and it's hard to get out. But again, the Jenga piece foam. So I'm gonna swap these around here real quick so you guys can see what I'm doing. So there's that. So this comes in a nice little plastic bag, which I use for trash bag afterwards. So that's convenient. Comes with plenty of tape. Everything's secure in there except for this little baggie of stuff. So first thing that I did with the other 2 is I peel this tape off here. A lot of people are, well, Ken, why don't you take apart your other AMS, or the original AMS first? Well, because if you take apart this first, and then you open up the baggie, it has this nice long hex key that you can take apart that with. So thank you to Sunlu for providing that tool. You didn't have to, but that's something that I would say is above and beyond. There's a few other things that we'll get to that they went above and beyond for this. So if you've watched any of the other videos on these Sunlu heaters, a lot of the early YouTubers got these and they didn't have the frosted nice glass, or not glass, but I guess it would be plexiglass. And they were off-colored and the beta test models per se. So we waited a little while, and we're not sponsored by anybody, so we didn't have anybody send stuff to us. So, but the nice thing about when you pull off this tape, it also peels off that plastic cover that they send to protect it. Then you have another piece of foam in the bottom here that just protects the interior. Put this in the trash bag here. Slide this over, give us some room. Then we're going to open up, I'll put this in our little tray here. We'll open up this little package here. Then you get a nice little baggie that has your hex key. You got 4 hinges in there. You only need 2, so that's an extra thing that Sunlu did. They provided it with an extra set of hinges, it looks like. So that's very nice of them. And they provided a bunch of screws for this because, as you'll see later on, it can be kind of a pain in the butt to get those screws to stay on the hex key and then go into the machine. This is the user manual. There is no directions that I've noticed in here at all to assemble this because it's kind of simple. Our video that we're going to be releasing here probably next week or so, I actually show you how to assemble it. It's really quick. So we're not pretty. You get your little Sunlu pamphlet here that gives you the different materials that they have and the different products that they offer. And then your handy dandy power cord. So we're going to put, thank you for this, Sunlu. I've gotten about 1,000 of these because I get one in every single box of filament. So, not throwing it away out of malice, I promise. I actually quite like your products. So this we're going to save for later. I'm going to take a sip here. Check our comments. We're doing good. David, you are right. It does fit on the bed if you rotate it. I did rotate it, and it looks like that first layer is going down pretty well. And I don't see any filament gunking up on that thing, so it's got to be that off-brand. We'll see here in a little bit. Okay, so now that we have that off, we're going to open up our little package here. Comes in this nice static protected bag. I'm not sure why, because there's no electronics in it, but hey, I can use the bag for something else. I would recommend, if you don't have a little tray to put your screws and stuff into, I would put them in there, or find one and put it in there, because they tend to roll around pretty easily. So the hardest part about this assembly is going to be when you go to put the lid back on. The hinges are kind of, the first try is kind of, I don't know how to say it, not difficult, it can be confusing. That's what I'm trying to say. So on each end, there's 2 screws that you're going to take the hex key and go straight down in there with and loosen those on the back. And this is why I'm really glad that they provide a hex key, because it is a really long, I don't think any of my cobalt screwdrivers are that long to get down in there. If you have not noticed, we do have the affiliate code in the description now for Sunlu. Again, we're not sponsored by them, but we do get a little bit of a cutback if you purchase using that code. And you also get a discount, I believe. So the only thing I don't think it applies to is if it's their bottom line items, like that they're doing like a clearance sale. I don't think it applies for that, but I do believe it applies for everything else. We had somebody purchase off our link the other day, whoever that was. Thank you for that. I appreciate the support for the channel on that. we're going to probably be phasing out our Bambu filament that's on the cardboard rolls, because if you use them in your AMS systems, they will void your warranty. These guys are well past their warranty, so I'm not too worried about that. But our AMS2 Pros that we have, that when we ordered our P1Ss back in January, we got a couple of AMS2 Pros with it. And speaking of the P1S, I don't know if you guys have seen, Bambu has announced the P2S. If you want to see the pricing for it, you're going to have to go over to the European site because of the logistics issue that Bambu is going through, aka, I'm assuming, tariffs, which I can imagine that not knowing what they're going to be charged to bring things into, it kind of makes it kind of complicated, or into the US, it kind of makes it complicated to do shipping logistics. So I don't blame it at all. So we'll wait for that patiently and see what happens with that. It looks like that has a refresh screen, some upgrades for the servo motors, and you don't have the exclusion area, which is nice that you have to work around on the build plate now. They managed to get that not to be on there. So this comes out, it looks like I got 3 of the screws loose. I don't know if I got the 4th one. Nope, still in there. So that's an exciting development. I will say, like I said, I'm not affiliated with anybody or any company. My hypothesis is they released this refresh for the P2S, and they also released a little while back the announcement on the H2C. I would not be surprised if later on in the year, after they release the H2C, that they release a P2C, because not everybody needs a giant build plate, and it will probably be a Vortex system that is more affordable, for the average consumer, because I am expecting the Vortex to come in at $2,500 plus. So that's expensive. All right, so when it comes to this, make sure everybody's doing all right in the chat. Decent refresh. David says decent refresh basically kills off the X1C. Going to wait on the H2C would only get the P2S if my P1P or P1S dies. Well, yeah, I agree with that. Andrew, welcome to the chat, buddy. I ordered some Sunlu last week. Thanks for the code. Yeah, that must have been you that ordered. I appreciate the channel support. That's excellent. We're happy to have provided that code. Right now we're in the middle of doing the filament swap, or not filament swap, the AMS heater swap top for the original AMS from Sunlu for Bambu. So now we're gonna go, and these hinges that we have here, like I said, they gave you 4 of them. You don't need 4 of them. I'll better explain this in the video that I have coming out next week, maybe even later this week, depending on how fast I can get the editing done. This is the most complicated part. You have to make sure that these little tubes, when you put them on here, can go down in here, and the hinges can still open up. So it looks like this piece goes over here, and you should be able to, oop, I did it wrong. You should be able to rotate this pretty well. I could have done that wrong. And then this one, nope. Yeah, this one should go on the side. And this should rotate well. That one's the wrong one too. So the bad thing about them giving you 2 sets of hinges is sometimes you grab the same one twice. So I don't know if you can see on camera. Like, again, I will cover this more in detail next week. This rotates pretty well, and then I will rotate them to the position like that, and then I slot them in the hole. Sometimes it's easier said than done. And then I'll close the lid. And then we're gonna flip it over. While the lid is closed, I flipped it over, and here is the tricky part. Getting these hex these screws to stay on the hex key. Looks like our cover's doing well. I can't really see the extruder nozzle right now, so I can't tell if there's buildup on it because it's so low. All right, so first attempt. If you have a long hex key like this with a magnet on the end of it, that'd probably be helpful. Or you could be like Phrozen, and when they send their stuff, they send magnetic screws, which was cool. And like a surgeon, slot it in. Okay, we got the first one. Those other two, I didn't get that lucky, so congratulations, guys and gals. So we got those going on there. So you don't want to over tighten these because you'll strip them out. But there's the first one. Here's the second one. Some of the screws slot on the hex key a little bit better than others. But there's the second screw. I tighten it down to about slightly past where I feel the first resistance. Viva la resistance. And oh, so they lost their first screw. Again, this is why I'm thankful that Sunlu sends extra screws, because they do that. Okay, that one seemed to snap on there. Nope. All right. Eeny, meeny, miny, go. Nope. So they give you 4 extra screws per unit. So I have 12 extra screws. Let's see if how many of those it takes us to get it in there. Okay, we got our third one slotted in. All right, now let's get it in there. All right, that one's tight. And hey, we got that one in there pretty well. So not too bad, not too bad. I don't know if you guys can see it on camera or not, but we're gonna make sure we grab these screws when they come out. There we go. I don't know if you guys can see it on the camera or not, but this finish matches the original AMS finish really well. And something that I haven't seen any other reviewers cover, and it's kind of silly, but I am a brandy. I like to I like my brands to match. Ironically, the Sunlu logo is the very similar color green to the Bambu logo, so it kind of just, the whole vibe just feels very nice. So that is how you assemble it. Again, the port up at the top, you can either open or close it. I'm going to open it up. And it's going to be kind of hard for you guys to see on camera because the screen is a little dim, because I have some pretty bright lights in the studio. But we're going to put our power cord in here. I do have power up here above us, so excuse the cord dangling from the ceiling here in a second. If I can get the twist tie undone. I am working with Phrozen about getting some affiliate codes with them. I reached out to them and they said that they will have those available for the FDM printers and things like that sometime in December as they're getting that established. So that's exciting news to have, that I do have that resource to reach out to. So thank you, Phrozen, for at least responding with what you could. Appreciate that. So we're going to plug this in here. They do give a long power cord. Thank you, Sunlu, for that, because with these AMS systems, you can, I mean, some of them, I'm probably going to rearrange some of these because of this top is a little bit different. I'm going to probably have a different layout here pretty soon because it makes it a little difficult to open them up because they're a little bit bulkier in the back than the original, but it's worth it. So this is the unit, got power to it. We're going to turn it on, and then we'll come over here. I don't know if I can see it from this angle. And right there. So it's hard to see on screen. I can try to get it a little bit better, but when you turn the unit on, I'm gonna slide it back here so I can see it with you guys. You got the PB, the SB, and then in the middle is what filament that you're drying for. It's important to remember that if you're going to dry with PLA or dry PLA, that's probably going to be the lowest temperature you're going to be at. But if you go up to like PETG, or if you go to ABS, and then you try to switch back to PLA, and if you forget to change your settings, you could cause yourself some pretty major issues. So pay attention to what filament you're drying, and just be careful. Don't do anything crazy. So for this, you can click set, and it'll take you to what the first one it goes takes you to PLA. Then you can click set, or takes you to the filament. Then you can click set again, and this one will take you to your unit of measurement for temperature. Right now it's on Celsius. We're here in the US, so we go by Fahrenheit. So I'm going to switch that to Fahrenheit. I gotta click set again. It'll time out if you don't click it fast enough. All right. So right now the default setting is 122 degrees Fahrenheit. I do not need that high of heating and drying. I can feel it already coming out of the vent. Here in Michigan, we probably get right around 40% humidity, so I'm going to drop it down to 95 degrees Fahrenheit. And the SB, I believe, is for stored value. And then I'm going to click set. And then it goes to the timer. So the timer is not the time. That is the duration of how long you want it to dry your filament. All right. The default value is 6 hours. So that's plenty for me. So we're going to click set again. And we'll be all set. So now that that's going, I can already feel the heat coming out here. I'm going to close it off so it builds up some heat for a little bit. But that is how you unbox the Sunlu AMS heater. I'm super excited about that. This one's going to go right on the machine behind me once that's done printing and doing its thing. So it turned out really well. Iceman74, welcome to the chat. Those of you that just joined the live stream, we unboxed the AMS heater from Sunlu. We did 2 of them already. We actually have an episode coming out either later this week or early next week, depends on how much editing time I can get. I have it about 80% finished on the unboxing process of this, and also at the bonus at the end of this video that's coming out. It's just that's for you guys. We covered it in a live stream, but I wanted to cover it a little bit better. The difference between the Bambu spools and the new Sunlu spools, and how they can be swapped interchangeably. So be on the lookout for that. Thank you guys for that suggestion. That was awesome. So we're covering that in that video. We're titling it Filament Wars because it kind of seems like they're Bambu and Sunlu they're either working together or they're working against each other, but it's a better thing for us, especially when it comes to those interchangeable reloads for the spools. Now I can go to Sunlu and I can buy our filament, and no matter what spools I use, whether it's Bambu or Sunlu, I can use it. Also, of note, I have also tried the Elegoo refills. Those also do fit, so that's also a nice thing to have. So if I need to order Elegoo. Fisticuff Fred, running my first TPU print right now. Pretty stoked. On the Phrozen Arco TPU, you gotta let me know how that goes. I'll put my email in the chat. Or our email in the chat. I am super excited about that. That's incredible. The glorious geeks01@gmail.com. Yeah, TPU. I know it's kind of a stereotypical thing, but I've always wanted to try to print a shoe with it, like a shoe that I can wear and walk around with. That would be epic to show off at our art fairs and stuff that we go to. So, Fisticuss Fred 22, X1C. Even still, X1C, let me know how that goes. I've never printed with TPU. I have not gotten the courage to work with that material yet, but I would love to. Especially if I have somebody that's already done it, as yourself, that I can rely on to help me troubleshoot that process. That's super, or we can do it maybe on a live stream together. I do need to know does TPU have the fumes that something like ABS would have? That's an important thing, because I do have the little furry friends here in the studio that, you know, our management team. So if we do that, that would be a garage live stream that we would wind up doing. Had it in the dry box for 12 hours. Oh, okay. I could put that in. Oh, that would be a good way to test this out. I like that. Maybe I'll print some Christmas elf shoes. Iceman 74. I have printed with TPU on the Elegoo using the Orca slicer. Oh, we do have two Elegoo Centauri carbons. The TPU profile for Elegoo, does it work? Is there any issues with that? Iceman 74, have you had any issues at all with printing TPU? I don't need this anymore. Well, not as Fisticuffs Fred says, well, not as bad. I held off on printing with TPU until I had an exhaust system in place, especially because the kids' room in this next door. Okay, I'm the same way. Technically, say if I had something like the H2D that has that exhaust vent that you can put the adapter around and vent it out. I do have a vent up here in the ceiling that I can vent it outside with, but I don't have one of those systems yet. We'll probably get one of those sometime late this year, maybe next year. Just depends on budgeting and other things like that. Iceman 74 says, just had some stringing, but other than that, came out good. Okay, sweet. I have to get my hands on some of that. I also, TPU's the one that Uncle Jesse did with the airless basketball too, wasn't it? I think about a year ago now. So that's exciting. Shout out to him. He's great. I've been watching him for a couple of years now. He's my inspiration for doing all this. So thank you, Uncle Jesse, for doing your thing and inspiring me to do our thing. So it looks like we're doing pretty good with this Chroma Kit. The Elegoo Rapid Pet G is doing well. And this is actually a roll that I have had out probably for at least a couple months. So it's probably gathered some water. I don't have any of that stringing or any of the wisps. So that's good. Looks like the layer's gone down well. And I don't, yeah, it's had to have been that filament. So if you're just now joining the live stream, we tried to print in some of the off-brand Pet G that I got off of Amazon. I printed on it with the other printers, no problem. But for whatever reason, I just tried printing a very large articulated dragon from Cinderwing 3D earlier today. And I got this hunk that just built up around the nozzle. I used the basic Sunlu Pet G profile, wondering if the extrusion rate for that was too much for whatever brand of the filament that is. So I'll have to go back and evaluate that. But now we're printing the spool cover for the Chroma Kit, hoping that it gets here in the next couple days, maybe a week or so. I've seen that some of the other backers out there are getting theirs, so that's really exciting to see. So I'm going to unplug this now because it's right in my way to talk to you guys. So, but I'm so very happy we got these. Sunlu shipped them out right as soon as they said they would, early October, and we got ours here. This is really warm, and I already know this is going to work. And it's not so warm that it's going to cause any issues, even if you're doing PLA, as long as you make sure you set your settings. I personally am going to start at the lowest setting for whatever the defaults are on this machine. So if PLA's default is 120 is what I saw. I thought I saw on there. 122, I think is what I saw. I took it down to 95. So I'll start low and then I'll go up on it, just because I don't want to run into any issues, because I have had issues like that in the past with the filament just like stretching and then just clogging everything up and making a nasty mess. So Iceman74 says he's still waiting on his enclosure for my Arco and Chroma Kit. Really? That's are you located in the US, or I want to say you are from one of the live streams, but I can't quite remember. I don't have the greatest memory when it comes to things like that, but I thought most of the US backers had those already. Have you been in contact with Phrozen and seen if there's a reason, like a logistics reason, why they haven't got it out yet? Or because that would be important to troubleshoot. But if you guys have not tried these strawberry shortcake pop daddy pretzels, they're delicious. Best pretzels we've had on the show yet. So I'm gonna have a few more of those. Oh, you're in Ohio. That's right. Yeah, we're just north of the border. We're here in Ludington, Michigan, and we got ours a while back. So I would reach out to Phrozen if you haven't already, and see what's going on with that. So we're super excited about what's going on here. As you can see behind me, I have these really bright green boxes that have not been there for most of the previous live streams. No, that's not a subliminal advertising for Bambu. It's when we go to craft fairs, and it's also for our Scatus series that we're going to film here soon. They're Gridfinity bins that we're going to be able to put on the Scatus system, so for display stuff, and they're really nice. As you can see, they got the empty ones over here. These are the drawers that printed with them. They're by K2 Kevin. So if you're wondering why they're bright lime green, I got to color code the drawers so the different sized items for those fairs go back into the same proper homes. So we're doing good on those. So that's why that looks like that. Andrew Crabb, waiting for my Chroma Kit 2, checking FedEx regularly. Yeah, I'm checking my Shopify profile to see if I have any new notifications like every 6 hours. I did reach out to Phrozen about that new blue plate. They got me estimates on those. They're actually going to load those onto the store very soon, so that if you guys have any parts that you need, you'll be able to put those and order those on their site very soon. One of the things that they weren't tracking that could possibly fail is that front fan. I haven't had it fail, but I know from my other machines that fans tend to fail from time to time. So I requested one of those from them, and they actually had to go through the research and development of what the price would be for that. So that should be listed on the website for you guys too at some point. I don't know when, but you'll have it available. So, and that's because of you guys. We're here doing this live stream for you all, and thank you for being part of our community. Now, question that I have is, what the heck do I do with this next? I almost wonder if I could like repurpose these to be shelves for spools. I don't know, but I have 3 of them now. I have seen out there that they have the I think it's by Ibos, the ones that have the individual bays. I know it's a little more pricey than a Sunlu one, but I'm hoping that at some point in time in the future I can get one of them for review. Because they do have one AMS that does not have one of these yet. So let me slide this out of the way now that we're done with it, so you guys can see what's going on with the Arco here. It's still warm. It's not plugged in, it's still warm. That's fascinating. Get this stuff out of the way here. I'm really excited to get that Chroma Kit because I really want to get some multicolored prints on this just to see how well it does. I'm hoping that I can get some sort of, or Phrozen maybe will release some other additional build plates that have like smooth sides or even different textured sides. I haven't gotten up the courage yet to order anything from Big Tree Tech with that actual size, just because I want to make sure it works. I don't want to get something that I get and it doesn't work. If you're wondering what filament spool holder that I have up there, I found it over in our Maker World, and I printed it out of orange PETG just to match the Chroma Kit or the Penta Shield. I think I had one of the questions about that on the previous live streams. So if you're just now joining us on the live stream, we just finished unboxing and assembling the AMS heater from Sunlu for the original Bambu AMS systems. We have 2 of them already assembled. We've done recording for that. We'll have a how-to video coming out later this week, early next week. For that, we're now printing on our Phrozen Arco the spool cover for the Chroma Kit for when it gets here. And then once that's nacho holder, oh, that's okay. Yeah, that would be fun. To change those lids into. The Chroma Kit should be arriving anytime now. So we're going to start with the Chroma Kit spool cover, and then we'll go on to the other files that they recommend to print with it, which I thought I saw. So they have the strands removal belt. I thought that was supposed to come with the AMS or with the Chroma Kit though. I am interested to see how those work. I saw the video for that today, and with our system, it almost looks like it takes the poop and goes up. So like dump it like off a cliff. So I'm wondering if I'm gonna have to like offset this and then cut a hole and put our bins down there, or one of our bins down there. Looks like we're doing pretty good with that cover. Don't have any stringing or warping. First layer went down well. So we're doing great. So do you guys have any questions on either the AMS heater for Sunlu or the Phrozen Arco or any general filament or 3D printing questions that I might be able to answer for you? Again, I'm not the super most experienced in 3D printing. I've only been doing it since 2020, so a few years, but I'm kind of experienced, definitely in PLA, but PETG I've gotten to know quite well. And anything outside of that though, I'll have to research, which I love to do research. You can drop that in the comments, or you can shoot me an email over to thegloriousgeeks01@gmail.com, or you can check us out on Facebook. So thanks for joining our live stream, guys, if you're just now joining us. So we're doing cool things. We've got excellent things coming up. we have our SCADA system that we released the first video on that. That's the basics with the SCADA system, basic things we found useful for the system. The next one's going to deal with like how to do LED lighting, the rep rack system for filament. I have probably close to 150 spools on the rep rack system with SCADA, so you'll get to see that, and we'll light that up with some LED lights. That'll be pretty cool. So you're getting a little bit of a sneak peek at what's coming up. Then we're going to be building a cart out of SCADAs. Those will be for our art fair booths, but also kind of like a maker command center that it can be interchanged with, because I've noticed with the system that I have behind me, I like it a lot, but I wish it was on wheels, because I would love to be able to just unlock the wheels, roll this whole thing forward, and be able to clean behind it. Or, you know, if I got to work on some cables, I don't have to pull the machine all the way out. I can just roll it forward and do what I need to do. So that's some exciting things that we got going on. We're going to be making some updates to our Patreon, so you can check that out. We're excited about that. So we're got a cat nap on top of the printer. If a cat naps on top of the printer, it must be pretty quiet, right? I'll show you guys. You'll see it on camera here. Dante's sleeping up on top of our Elegoo Centauri carbon over here. He is just loving life. And ironically, that one vibrates more than, or those two vibrate more than any of our other printers. So I think 5 years ago, that would have never happened. So that tells you how far we've come. So, and it's well vented. So he's doing pretty good. And that it's enclosed too. The filtration systems on the machines are much better than what they used to be, even 2-3 years ago. So I'm very happy with how that's going. Man, those bins really stick out. Wow. But we're doing cool things on the channel. If you guys do purchase Sunlu Filament, you can pick up that code we have in our description. It's Be Glorious. Helps out the channel, but you also get a discount in return too for Sunlu Filament. The only thing it doesn't apply to, or Sunlu products, the only thing it doesn't apply to is going to be any clearance products that are like at their baseline levels of profit that they need. So check that out. Now, Iceman74 says, I still have my Ender 3. I'm going to put in a glass display. Yeah, I kind of wish I would have held on to one of my Neptune 2s. Just to have it as like a reminiscence, just to see how slow it goes in comparison to the things that we have now. I remember when I first got my P1, the very first P1S that we got, and I went from that Elegoo Neptune 2S, I think is what it was called. Yeah, Neptune 2S. And the speed difference, I was like, what happened? Whoa. And now the whole game's catching up. Now we're printing at 500 millimeters per second, 600, 700. The Phrozen Arco advertises for 1,000. I mean, it is crazy. So far, it looks like the tree supports are sticking well. Ah, there it is. I'm starting to get a little bit of the stringing with the PET G. I should have dried it out before I put it in there. Hopefully I don't get any nozzle clogs, but there is a little bit of stringing going on. Should have dried her out. That's okay. That's what our Chroma Kit's going to be for. Drying it before we print with it. One of the next Phrozen Arco videos that we're going to do is I'm working on getting like a camera set up for doing that hot end, how to unclog it. I know we just did the one on the how to unjam the extruder. I hope you guys have seen that. If you haven't, go check it out. It's super awesome. I know Phrozen just unleashed the filament cutter one, but we went into in depth on the how to get it out of the extruder when it comes time to troubleshoot a clog. But our next one will be on the extruder, or the how to unjam the hot end. And if you have any other suggestions on what we should do for how-to videos, drop them in the comments or email me at gloriousgeeks01@gmail.com. That way we have content for the community that they'll find useful. That's one of my important items, is that whatever we're making is useful for you all, or you find obviously entertaining. So we're doing great things and being glorious. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel, please do so. We are at that 963rd subscriber mark, so close to that 1K mark. Got to do something momentous for that mark. That's a pretty big, it's an important milestone to me. I think it is to most YouTube creators, getting to that 1K subscribers. We started this back in, I want to say April, so about 6 months now that we've been doing it. So we're excited to be here with the community and doing our thing and bringing you all entertainment and information. So you know, the funny thing about these pretzels, the strawberry shortcake pretzels, I'm not really a strawberry shortcake fan, but these are good. I'm gonna see if I can get my home screen back here. Weird. Doesn't even say it's printing anything. I wonder if Orca Slicer tells me how much longer is left on this thing. It's actually not that long of a print. It says 5 hours. I actually would have thought it would have been longer than that. So we'll have that cover for our Chroma Kit when it gets here. I'll do some more research on that conveyor belt thing. I can't tell if they want us to print like the structure for that conveyor belt and they just sent like the actual belt. I'll do some more research on that. Then I'm excited to print that first multicolored benchy. That'll be cool. And I almost want to test print with a bunch of leftover filament that I have, maybe PETG or something of the sorts, like a giant multicolor print, and see how well that conveyor belt system can keep up. I'll have to make sure, obviously, dry the leftover filament that I had. Some of it's been sitting around for 3-4 months. If you guys have recommendations on filament dryers, I'm all ears. I know Sunlu makes some cool ones, but if you guys have any experience with those, let me know. That'll be fun to reach out to see if some of them want to do some reviews on. while I'm thinking about it, let me grab a bamboo spool and a Sunlu spool so that I can talk to you guys about those differences. Here's a bamboo spool, or a Sunlu spool, sorry. And do I have a bamboo spool? I know I have one in the AMS over here, but I don't know if that's currently being used. So I only got a Sunlu spool right now. They're virtually, they're virtually identical. Oh, there's one. I have an orange one over here. So they're virtually identical. And I can't remember which one of you guys, it was a few episodes back, that showed me that there was this arrow on the side. That's super helpful. I'll never forget that. I appreciate that suggestion. But in order to get them apart, you just slide them backwards or twist them and they unlock. Same thing with the bamboo rolls. I don't want to undo this one because then it creates a whole mess, but they unlock. And again, the same arrow system that you might line up the arrows and then you twist them. I also believe that there is a notch on the bamboo one that you have to line up though. But they are compatible and I've used both of them. So they are very nice to have. And even like the height of them, let me get this wrapped up here. The height of them are, I mean, almost identical. So they move very smoothly in the AMS systems. So I am very happy with that. It actually has helped with the AMS very well. So there's probably a reason why Bambu invented it around it. And now Sunlu's making their products more accessible to a wider base of consumer. Instead of just having the standard plastic spool, they made it so that you can use multiple types of reusable spool or reusable filaments on their spools. So I appreciate that, Sunlu. I know you probably did a lot of work into that, so thank you for doing that for your consumers. That is nice. David Walton, when Sunlu has a sale, the ones with the spools are cheaper than the refills from Bambu. Yeah. So that is the reason why I use Sunlu. For me, the experience that I have had, it seems to be if I am just buying filament regularly, Sunlu is almost always cheaper. Bambu is, I mean, you get what you pay for, but now I feel like Sunlu is being very, very competitive with their prices, and now that you can use it almost identical. I mean, Sunlu right now, I think, let's look it up. Let's see. I'm pretty sure they're running a sale now. Yeah, they're running their Halloween sale right now. Up some of their filaments up to 40% off. I think Bambu is too. But for instance, if you go to, you know, their PLA, some of their PLA is $11.49 per roll. That's extremely great pricing, in my opinion. And I have not seen any difference as far as print quality between Bambu and Sunlu. Again, I'm not the connoisseur of 3D printing, but as far as what I do, you know, fidget toys for 3D printing, bins and stuff like that, even their PETG matches up. And their filament selection is getting better and better all the time. So they're constantly adding new types of filament, new gradient filaments. They added PLA marble a while back. They have like multiple different types of wood PLA. So that's pretty fun to see. So their prices are very, very competitive, I would say. And let's check out this Halloween. I'll share my screen so you guys can see it. Iceman74, I love Sunlu Filament and Elegoo. I do too. I hope Elegoo does the same thing. Elegoo, if you're watching, please, 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 these make them as close to this as possible, or at the very least, able to be swapped out. I know your refills work on these, but I'm hoping your version of these spools will also allow the other filament brands to be used on them. Let me share my screen while I show you guys that. And I gotta close this one so you can see. All right, let's go check out. So right now, Sunlu is running their Halloween sale up to 40% off. So, I mean, some of these prices are incredible. $15. So if you guys haven't, check out Sunlu. They're doing great things for the community, keeping things affordable even despite all the pricing uncertainty of tariffs. So I appreciate that from them. Oh, I didn't know they had purple on sale. I have to check that out later. But yep, so if you guys want to use the code BeGlorious, you can get a little bit of a discount. I don't know if it will work with if you'll get the discount with these low prices, but using the code still will let them know that the click happened through our channel. So we're doing good things. Let me get back to Streamlabs here and swap this off here. David Walton, their last sale, I got 10 rolls for $111 before tax. I know their prices are crazy good, and their quality is right up there with everyone else's. So I am hoping, because of their affordability, it drives the prices lower for other competitors, and it makes things more affordable for us consumers. And Sunlu is always running sales on TikTok too. So if you have TikTok, I'm sure if you type in Sunlu sale, you can get some benefits on there. I'm also in the talks with Phrozen about their filament. They're just getting started with their FDM series stuff, so I'm excited for them. They're doing great things. Actually, you know what? I accidentally opened up one of my Arco or my Chroma Kit spools. So let's try. I gotta walk around here. Let's try to put our Frozen spools. Oh, they have 2 notches in that. Okay. So this is a Frozen, what is it? Tough PLA is what they called it. So this is their roll. This is a Sunlu spool. I accidentally opened this up earlier thinking this was Sunlu PLA. It was not. So put that on there. So the first thing I noticed here right now, I don't know if you can see it on camera, but this moves a lot around on here a lot. So that might be an issue later on. Or it might not, I don't know. Well, yes, it will be for retraction purposes in the AMS. So that's a little rough. But your Frozen spools are not going to work in the AMS or on these spools. Again, the Frozen refills will not work on the Bambu and Sunlu reels. Andrew Crabb, they ship very quickly and a US-based warehouse. Yes, I agree. They do ship very, very quickly. I ordered some filament and it got here to Michigan in like 2 days. So it's almost as quick as Amazon Prime, I would say, for me anyways. And just to show you guys, I think I have some Elegoo refills somewhere. Let's see. Elegoo, where are you? I think this is Elegoo. Yeah. Nope, that's Sunlu. Oh yeah, I do. The yellow's LU. So this yellow here, which is the last roll of yellow actually I have, this yellow is LU refill. I know that because of for whatever reason, the band's blue. Well, I shouldn't say whatever reason. That's probably because they are LU, and that's their logo color. So I will say that LU doesn't label their refills yet. So I don't have a label to tell me what color this actually is other than the color. So this is the LU refill. If it fits on here, it should fit on there. So we'll pull that apart. Nice and snug. I'm excited to see that. And I gotta make sure I line up my arrows. Where is that arrow? There it is. The one recommendation I would make to Sunlu for these spools in the future, if they ever do an update to them, and it's not paramount, but making those arrows just a little bit brighter or easier to see. Okay, we're locked together and we push it together, maybe. And if you ever have an issue, you can look and see if like the teeth are not aligned in the center here. Congratulations, guys. This is a preview for our episode coming out. So I got to roll it back. Okay, so we got to push it together. And there it's together. And then there is a lock. You'll feel it like that. And then you know it's on there. So then you can peel these off. Don't be like me sometimes. I'll be absent-minded and I'll open up the filament out of the package and just automatically start peeling the tape off. If you do that, you're going to have a heck of a time, if you can at all, getting it on the spool. David Walton, ditch the cardboard spools and everyone use that standard refill spool. Yes, please, somebody. Make a standardization for it. Because one, it saves plastic, so it helps out the environment. Two, I would imagine it would save them money because they're not having to send us plastic with our plastic. So, and there's the yellow. Beautiful. So, that's a little bit of a preview that we got coming out for our episode. Definitely much shorter than what you guys just had to watch. So, just hanging out and printing and eating delicious pretzels. At least this week they're delicious. Those dill pickle ones, no. So it looks like the stringing stopped, so I'm happy to see that. Must have just been like the outer sections of the filament that were stringing. So let's see how we're doing on time, guys. Not doing too bad. So if we were to print in TPU, what would you guys suggest we print first in TPU? Can't make any promises on how fast we'll print in TPU or how soon we'll do it, but it is on the to-do list. Would the pretzel be kind of funny to do in TPU? Let's see. I'll put a poll in. Put a poll in the chat. Huh. Interesting. Streamlabs doesn't let you put a poll out unless that's a So I got to go to YouTube to do the poll. Okay. Let's do a poll. Should we print our 1K subscriber mark as a TPU pretzel? If I can. Don't judge me if I spell pretzel wrong. I just think it'd be funny to have a flexible pretzel. I don't know if Frozen's covered this or not, but is the Chroma Kit able to print with TPU? Let's ask Google. Can the Phrozen Arco Chroma Kit handle TPU? Yes, the Phrozen Arco and its Chroma Kit can handle TPU, as the Arco is designed to print a wide range of materials, including TPU, and the Chroma Kit is a multi-material system. The Chroma Kit allows for multiple films to be used. Okay. So, if that's the case, maybe we do the pretzel in multicolor TPU. I'm not sure I've seen too many multicolor videos for TPU. I'm sure that the U1 will be able to do it when it comes out because it's 4 separate heads. So the retraction and the extrusion might not be an issue. Oh, we got David Walton says, website says printing PLA, PETG, ABS, ASA, PA, PETC, PC. So no, that's a good point. Let's look at the official website. Yeah, so they do not say, you're right, David, they do not say TPU is part of the colors. Oh, I have reached out to Frozen, the support, asking them about the supported colors expandable up to 7 to 8. And if they're like beta testing something, if they want us to try out, I put that flyer out there. If it comes back, that'd be great. If not, I'm not too worried about it. But I would like to test that out and see what that is all about. Because right now, excuse me, ow, right now all I see is the 4 tubes coming in. So how does that expand from 4 colors, like the A1 Mini and A1 have the 4 tubes going in? The Arco does as well. How does that go into 8? Do they have 8 tubes going in? That would be wild. Andrew Krabs says, probably didn't account for TPU that can go in AMS. Guessing they don't want TPU in the Chroma Kit. Yeah, I don't blame them because it could probably cause a lot of issues with the extrusion. David Walton, well, Bambu's A1s have that 4 tube, the Arco will have, and they just updated them to support multiple AMS units, so it's possible. I saw that too. I'm not sure. I haven't tried. I have an A1 Mini. I'm not I haven't tried using multiple AMSs yet with the A1 Mini. Uh, I'll see if I can't get into that because that would be pretty cool to be able to print multiple colors with the A1 Mini. That thing's just fun to watch. I kind of wish I would have got an A1 with it too. Uh, Now that I'm thinking about it, does the what do the is there one tube? So there's four tubes coming out of the Chroma Kit. The difference between between the Phrozen Arcos four tubes coming out is no, because the A1 Mini does it too. So the A1 Mini's AMS has four tubes coming out of it too. So it's possible. I just for right now I can't wrap my head around the logistics of it. I wonder if the Chroma Kit can print abrasive filaments. Doesn't say on the website. That's something else I wonder too, Andrew, is if they can prevent like glow in the dark filaments. Man, they can tear your PTFE tubes up. I imagine that probably can. It just you're gonna have to replace your tubes quite frequently. David Walton says, I think you will be adding multiple four-way adapters. I think you'll either be adding a multiple four-way adapters or they're going to give you something that turns those four tubes into one. So, uh, like it'll take your four tubes and like a funnel, it'll funnel into one tube, and then that one tube will go into the four tool head or four adapter on the actual tool head. I think that's what my brain is thinking it might do. I spend 74. My S1 prints with 8 colors, and I have 8 tunes going into the back, tubes going into the back of my machine with an 8-tube adapter. Whoa. 8-tube adapter, wow. Do you find that your S1 has any issues with that many tubes going into it? I feel like it would be kind of congested. Iceman74 says, yes, sometimes you get a break in it. You mean like one of the PTFE2 breaks off? I had a feeling that it would be similar to like the A1 Mini that I have. With those four PTFE tubes, you can get a lot, especially on that adapter. Uh, it puts a lot of torque on the adapter. Trying to see. I just had it a minute ago. I wanted to see those four tubes coming out of the Chroma Kit. whatever they're going to do, it's going to be interesting to see. I don't know if it's fully hashed out yet, but I'm sure their research and development team for Phrozen is working on it. I'm excited to see. Most things I print are usually 4 colors. I think I've done up to 6. Haven't done anything more than that. One day, though, I would like to color. I don't know if it could be any of the machines I currently own because it'd be so much filament waste. I would like to color one of our dragon eggs like 7 or 8 different colors of scales and some of the cool Pet G colors that we have. So if you guys got any questions you want to ask about how the Sunlu AMS heater is performing so far, we've got a couple of them going over here. They're super quiet. I don't really hear them at all. I hear my printers way more than I hear the dryers. They seem to be doing well. If anything, I think they've improved my print quality here. As far as I can tell, my PLA is handling it well. That's what I started with. I'm going to probably move to Pet G at some point in time after I get comfortable with these heaters. This is my first foray into any sort of heating system with our filament. And I was gonna eventually do a dry box, but if I can print while I'm doing, or if I can dry while I'm doing printing, to me that just makes sense. As long as you're making sure that whatever you're printing with, you're drying at the appropriate temperatures. And like I said earlier in the live stream, I'm going to try to dry at the lowest possible temperature for each filament that I'm using, just because I don't want to have any issues when it comes to printing with our materials and causing any clogs or big jams. So next week, hopefully I'll have an idea on whether I have to print that frame that goes on the conveyor belt system, because it looks like they did provide a file for it. So maybe next week that's what we'll print, and we'll get some more cool things going here. If you have any suggestions on what you think we should print on the channel, you can email them to me at thegloriousgeeks@gmail.com. You can hit us up on Facebook. Our pretzels tonight were the strawberry shortcake flavor, and I will definitely say for the crunchiness of them, I give them 9 out of 10. The sweetness, 10 out of 10. They're super sweet, but not overly sweet, so it doesn't subtract anything from it. And as far as like how messy they are, I'd give them probably 5 out of 10 because they're really powdery. But I think we'll switch to savory and salty pretzels again next week. We're doing awesome things here for this filament cover, or this spool cover for the Chroma Kit coming up. If you are local here in Ludington, we will be at the elementary school fall festival in November 15th. If you purchase filament for your own 3D products and prints, we strongly recommend Sunlu. We have a filament discount code for them. Affiliate code is BeGlorious. Next week, we'll have a little bit more information on how well these AMS systems heaters are doing. So check us out on Facebook, TikTok. We're also on Instagram. So until next time, be glorious.